We are live. Oh, that's it. Yes. Woohoo! How exciting.
And I'm so excited to introduce you to a dear friend of mine, Misha. She is an Ayurvedic guide and so much more than that. Isn't it funny how we use words to describe people? But that's like, you're Misha,
Yes.
you're amazing. And so, yeah, you're just so inspirational. And since the day we met, we've sort of been doing different things together and interviews and speaking at events, and that's why I thought I'd get you on the radio show today, because I just want to first of all introduce you to the yachting world. I know many of you know her, but who are you, what are you doing here, and tell us a bit about your story.
Great stuff. Thanks. As you say, we met just a few months back, but I do believe that the world is connected on a different level. So, like attracts like. And like yourself, I just have found a way of seeing life that's a little bit more, it feels more progressive. So I was not always an Ayurvedic guide. About 7 to 10 years ago, I drank my coffee for breakfast in the morning along with my cigarettes. And I lived on this until about 5 o'clock in the evening, when I would have a massive meal, usually my mother's Irish, so it would be meat and some sort of starch and with vegetables. In Ireland, if there's no vegetables, it's a snack that you didn't eat. So I didn't understand why I felt so bad. But every doctor I went and saw was just like, you're a woman, so it's hormones, or take these tablets, come back in 3 months, see how it goes. And having met my husband with a broken back, it's something about having to look in somebody's eyes every day and know that they're in pain and you can't help. And the frustration becomes overwhelming. So I took him on a yoga retreat where his back froze. And there was a Swami Guru a yogi teacher there, who said, look, just take him to India. Why? What is wrong? Almost like, what is wrong with you? I was waiting for the stupid girl he did not say it, but I was expecting it. So we got him to India. They fixed him in 23 days. There was no break in his back. The 5 slip discs that the doctors missed here were replaced. And they did it all through special treatments and food. So I thought, what is this stuff now? I got really nosy. Okay, what is this? So I let them assess me. And within half an hour, I was bawling like a baby, because all these years I had been telling my parents, my family and friends, doctors, nurses, anyone who listened to me, I did not feel well. And in half an hour, they told me exactly what was wrong with me that I had been complaining about and how that it could be fixed. So I got nervous still, and I decided, okay, what is this with the food? And actually, in exploring for the last 3 years and studying my heart out every moment I could get, Ayurveda is actually just a path to self-love, which sounds horrible on this side of the world. When you say self-love, we're like, oh, that's not a great title. Yeah, but folks, without it, there's no self-health, huh? And without your health, what actually do you have?
Yeah.
So that's Ayurveda, and that's how I came to it. So now my purpose in life is to go around and educate as many as I can and show them that it's actually easy and that we do it. Ayurveda, the whole point is no pain. It should be comfortable. You should enjoy it, and it should bring you to a state of harmony. And so that's it. That's me.
Just before we go on, could you just explain a little bit about the origins of Ayurveda, like the country it's from, when it was invented? Is it a brand new thing, like, every other therapy these days? Because just a lot of people on the station may never have heard the term before, because it is kind of new in the Western world, I guess. So, could you just explain the foundations, and then we can get into it a bit deeper?
I would be delighted. So, I talk about the word all the time, Ayurveda. If you've never heard of this, this is an ancient medicinal system which is scientific. So modern medicine at the moment is proving all the philosophies and thoughts behind Ayurveda that it's correct. So 10,000 years ago, 6 wise men sat down, discussed amongst themselves, and realized we were going to hit major problems with our health. And they prayed to the gods in India. And the gods turned up. Lord Brahma, looked at these 6 men, took them to the heavens, and looked at these 6 men and said, okay, what do you want? What is it that you need? And the 6 wise men, we know they were men because we have their names. The 6 wise men said, listen, we have serious problems coming up. How are we going to help to keep people healthy, that they can cure their illnesses and that they can live long enough to understand life? So the twin physicians of the Indian gods sat down with the ancient rishis and they gave them all the wisdom, including illnesses which did not exist at the time. So even though it's 10,000 years old, even though they only wrote it down 6,000 to 5,000 years ago, we in Ayurveda can work with every illness on this earth. And many times, because we work exactly, specifically, and only with nature, the illness will reverse. Many, many illnesses, and this does include things like my illnesses, which was polycystic ovarian disease, kept me trapped in my house for 15 days of every month. I don't live with that now.
Wow.
Stomach issues. My stomach was going to collapse. My digestional problems were so bad. I absolutely, every morning, excuse me, Yachting World, if this is a bit offensive, I go every morning and happily, it feels great. So these lots of illnesses further and further. And as I just told you, they killed my husband's broken back, so it's even
I would
without
love
surgery. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, so medically speaking, in yachting, I think when we look at it from a scientific medical perspective, from what I know, we get most of our complaints, funnily enough, are actually ears, eyes, nose, and throat. But that makes sense because it's quite broad, and people get ear infections swimming in contaminated water, like in the Caribbean. Where if someone gets a throat infection like strep, everyone gets it. And eyes, we're doing lots of work in the yards and get things in our eyes. So that's a given. The second one is gastro, as in norovirus, because once again, when one person gets it on the boat, the whole boat gets it. That also comes back to digestive health, because as I've said in all my classes, we are so unique in yachting. Who else do you know that could be in Antigua, sail to Antigua tomorrow and then, get there and have 3 days there, then fly, say, back to Australia for Christmas, then come back to Antigua via Thailand, then come to Palma, maybe go up to Greenland, pop down to, New Zealand for some, racing, then a delivery through the Pacific. For us, that's normal. And what's really interesting is no one studied people like us in any type of medicine. We're the first people to ever travel. Like when my mum first came to England from Australia, she was on a boat for 6 weeks and quarantined. So, the amount we travel affects our guts. But what I really want to talk about today, in regards to your husband and myself today, is our third biggest problem is traumas. Because we do extreme sports, we're also using gear that no one's ever used in the history of man. Like our industry is so cutting edge. We have the latest hydraulics and the latest electrics and electronics and all these things in a tiny place, and things do break. And we're all a very adventurous people. So on our time off, we ride scooters, we snowboard, we kite surf, we climb mountains. So we go on crazy holidays. So let's talk about healing a trauma. Let's talk about healing something like a broken back or a broken ribs, because so many yachties get that. Where could we start if you were talking to someone in yachting that had just had a big trauma? To someone.
Yes. So the first thing that we obviously have to take into account is the physical reaction of the body. Because if anything is injured or breaks in the body, the area itself has to be attended to. So this is not an area where we self-treat. I am not going to start telling you to eat lots of things that will help you. No. First, go and get it medically checked out. Please have somebody qualified to look at this. Okay? The part that you can do for yourself will happen once it's been confirmed what the diagnosis is, whether it's a break, whether it's ligament damage, whatever the area happens to be and what the damage is, then you know how you can work.
So let's say it's a break.
So if it's a break, in modern medicine, they will want you to splint this. Usually they like to try and keep it rigid so that the bone can heal. Yeah. This is contrary to what we understand for most breaks in Ayurveda. Actually, the body is very good at mending itself. It does so 365 days of the year without any interference from us. So the body knows what to do with the bone. The reason why you see a physician is to make sure that the break is going to set straight. You can't have bones healing badly. That's not going to work. Mm-hmm. But in Ayurveda, we have special oils that are medicated that we would apply to the bone, and we actually then have the patient sit in the sun. This is logical. If you think about how the body works, one of the greatest sources of vitamin D is the sun.
Yeah.
And really, it reacts so strongly with the body, with these oils, that the area that is broken heals faster.
Wow. Okay? Yeah.
So this is one area that you could look at depending on how you are strapped up. Doctors and nurses, I am not telling them to remove their casts, okay? But there will be a moment when it is appropriate that this no longer has to be restrained, or it's only half restrained. You get maybe half a slab. Then you could maybe put a little bit of oil in the area, and anybody like myself or who works in Ayurveda has a good background knowledge. They will know the oils that can be used.
And are they special oils from Ayurvedic doctors, or are they common ones that we have in our clinics these days?
You can get them online, but they are medicated, Manda. They're not just normal oils. So please go wandering around rituals and think that you can buy a special oil that's going to heal your break. No, there are medicated, like if you've traveled anywhere through Asia or especially China, you might know some of the names. We have ashwagandha is for the pain. This can come in the oil or the tablet format because we don't have a painkiller in Ayurveda, so we use ashwagandha. For example, Hindali Thaila or Karpo Thaila for certain muscle injuries, and this will nourish the muscles to keep them strong as the break is trying to heal. So there's a lot of different ones, and you do need to speak to somebody because it depends on you as to which oil you will use. Okay, everything is person specific in Ayurveda. We don't have one tablet heals everyone. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing you will look at is your food. So your body has undergone a trauma. And in the West, we have this idea that we have to feed people when they're not well because they need something to nourish them. But the body is already undergoing a process. So you don't want to make it work harder to try and get the nutrition to go through to where the break is. Actually, the kindest thing to do to the stomach is to feed it only what it needs to survive because the body is already working. So at the beginning of the trauma, we would really reduce the food. Sometimes for the patient, we would give them rice water. This is sustaining because you have the sugars and the starch to keep the body functioning. You have the liquids to keep hydrating. But you don't actually need so much food directly after the trauma. The build-up happens as you're starting to recover. Then we want to make sure you eat really good, easy to digest foods. Yeah. And in Ayurveda, when it comes to really nurturing someone after an illness or an injury, we will always turn to khichdi. This is because the white basmati rice, not brown. Everybody loves brown in nutrition. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, Ayurvedically, white rice. Okay, we love white rice. White basmati rice mixed with the yellow moong dal lentil. This is a split lentil. This combination with the spices creates a whole protein by itself. It's a soupy food, so it goes into the stomach, partially already digested, eases the digestion, and because of the mix of this, it's kind of slightly glutinous when you mix it, although it's soupy, it's kind of sticky. It helps to polish the digestional tract so that all the nutrition you need to repair goes all the way through to the 7 dhatus, the 7 tissues. Okay? So this is the kindest thing that you could do to yourself after a trauma is be kind. Don't force yourself to do things. what you need. If you're starving, eat. But if
Yeah.
you feel a bit anxious and you're a bit in pain, be kind. You don't have to make yourself do things. It's okay to do what you feel.
Beautiful. That's so cool because obviously I'm suffering a break at the moment and so many things I've been just dying for, you said. So the sun, you know, all I feel like doing is just lying in the sun, which is lucky because I live near the beach. And yesterday, you know, we went for lunch and I found it hard sitting up with my husband and our dear friend that's staying. And so I just lay on a deck chair and, you know, with a little bit of medical knowledge I had, I thought of all the things I've been thinking of what I can give my body right now, it's sunlight because vitamin D encourages, you know, the making of the calcium and the mending of the bones and production and digestion of magnesium and all the things I need right now. And I really, you know, I just wanted all my chest where the injury is there and the sun directly on it. So
Yeah.
I love that you say that. And I think there's so much to be said for how the effect of the sun in healing and just being outside in nature. You know, sometimes we go looking for this light therapy and that therapy,
Yeah.
and ancient medicines like Ayurveda, you know, which is very similar in so many ways, I think, to Western medicine. It's older.
Yeah.
It's scientifically based and evidence based. And what I love about Ayurveda, you know, as a science based practitioner, is it checks out. You can just find so much evidence on the internet. The journals are really well cited and written, and the evidence goes back like as long as, you know, Hippocrates and you know the Greeks started Western medicine. So and I really love that. And another thing I've been really feeling is I've been really craving milk, which, you know, milkshakes. I had at the bar yesterday. I normally drink champagne, and I
Yeah.
one of the girls for a milkshake, and she gave it. There was another family next to us, and she bought the milkshake and put it down in front of this child that was sitting next. And just seen her face when I was like, no, that's for me, because they're like, you don't do dairy ever,
Yeah.
and non-alcoholic drinks on a Sunday. So yeah, and then bone broths as well, and veggie broths, just really craving the minerals. But as you
Yeah.
said, it's really feeling like I need that sun and that stillness to just heal. And
Yes.
yeah, my Ayurvedic guide inside me was kind of on the right track.
Completely. Because even that craving for milk is your body saying, okay, I'm healing. I don't need you to eat a steak right now, but I need something that's going to help with the bones. Or this is your body is actually really strongly speaking and communicating. But nowadays we can be a bit blocked. We eat too much of a food that is actually not the greatest food for us, or the wrong time of year or the wrong time of day, and we don't always hear that message very well.
Yeah,
But what you're telling me, I just feel that you're then completely responding to what the body's needs are. And yes, we forget the natural remedies. We forget I call it, if I'm introducing this medicine to somebody Spanish, I say it's how the bisabuelos used to live. It's how the great grandparents used to live.
yeah,
Because we do all this medicine. It is not that it's new or that it's come back or that we're just rediscovering it. It's just that we forgot a lot of it. This is why Ayurveda feels so comfortable in the West, is because, yeah, it is very much the scientific background that in each point that I bring up, I can very quickly explain to somebody scientifically what we have found in the West by studying it.
mm,
Particularly in regards to the flora and fauna that live in our gut, that they are seasonal. So there is no point in eating all the summer foods in the winter because the little creatures to digest that, they've hibernated, they're gone. You don't have those now. So really in a trauma, hearing what the body wants, and sometimes the body might want something you think, oh, I didn't eat that since I was a child. That's
yeah,
weird. Why do I want that now? Eat it. Because even in a trauma, even Ayurveda is a complete science. So it's mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
And when we're healing, what are we doing? We are encouraging the body to regenerate itself. When we did that when we were small, before we learned all the emotions, the comfort came from a parent. And what do parents do when the kids are ill? We feed them. We give them really nice little things that they want, small amounts of tidbits, and chicken soup. When I was
And
a kid and I was sick, chicken soup. I'm telling you, if I get sick now, I dream about chicken soup because I'm vegetarian now. But my
right.
mum had the whole carcass and she'd just throw a load of stuff in the pot and she'd have it boiling and boiling and boiling. There's certain foods that the memory of that childhood moment of being cherished will help to heal the trauma, even though it's a physical one.
So give yourselves a hug, everyone. That's my thing. Sometimes we go
Yeah,
looking in all the wrong places, and you can actually just wrap yourself up in your own arms and say, "I've got you, sister or brother."
yeah,
Sometimes we
I'm
forget.
okay. Everything is fine. Yeah, and you can do it with your food. You might not. Okay, I'm not saying go and eat a whole chocolate cake. No, but if on that day and you have your trauma and you think, when I was small, my mum would just give me scrambled eggs on toast. Eat scrambled eggs on toast. Just
Well,
have
that's a good point you make.
really.
Coming from a Western medical explanation is when you have trauma, you go into shock. And so, you want to treat for shock before you see the signs and symptoms of shock. And the signs and symptoms are, being listless, anxious. I find yachties get a little bit like they become amazing actors, like I did, and act their fine and nearly delegate and are really hiding there's anything wrong with them. They step into overdrive. You get cold and shaky, your sugar levels drop dramatically, and you need reassurance. It's scientifically proven that the more reassurance you get at the time of an injury, and we've all been there, you've either had an injury and everyone's yelling to each other, not knowing what to do with you, or
Yeah,
you're really well supported and someone's saying, you're here, you've had an accident, it's okay, now we're going to call, your doctors or blah, 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 or you're on the boat, it's okay, we've got these great kits and this great training and our 24/7 services there, but we get that reassurance. And these are all the things, you crave after an accident that you may not know that's what you want. But going back to the chocolate cake, I was definitely craving sweet childish foods like
yeah,
chocolate shapes with cream on top, and
yeah,
reassurance. And, it's so nice to hear you allow that space, because I find in some medicines, sometimes when we have an accident, people want to go straight into the raw foods, the raw juices, the raw salads. And right now, that feels too hard for me. I don't
yeah.
think the digestive system could even deal with it. If that's something you're craving and it's in season, then sure. But can you just also go back and explain about the stomach flora, because I don't think a lot of people know that stomach flora go on holidays. There's winter ones and summer ones, and they're there for a reason. And if you don't nurture them, it can make you feel a bit out of sorts, which can lead to
Yeah,
an accident, right? So
yeah, exactly.
it's about
One
the
thing that,
road.
sure. Yeah. So in Ayurveda, I get a lot of people who say to me, "Oh, I could never do it. It's vegetarian." It's not. Or they
Yeah,
say, "I can never do it because I really prefer raw-based foods, raw plant-based foods, and you eat everything cooked. We don't."
yeah.
Okay. But what we do is we understand ourselves and what our bodies individually need, and then we have to live with our seasons. So,
Mm.
there are so many doctors out here who explain this with such enthusiasm. They really share very beautifully. But how I explain it to my clients is I'm a bit of a storyteller. So I like the idea of everything has a story.
Yeah.
And actually, the whole digestive process begins with your senses. If it does not smell good, if you don't look at it and start salivating, if the sound of it sizzling or whatever it makes the crunch, if it is not satisfying, if it doesn't look like you want to touch, if it appears a bit slimy or something, you are not going to start digesting this food. But when all those senses kick off together, we have the beginning of the digestive process. And most people, when you say to them, when do you start digesting? They will tell you some part of the gastrointestinal tract. But it begins with the salivation. So you salivate, start creating your soup for your upper stomach, the small stomach. And as you know, just behind there, we have the liver regulating all the things that are going through. And we have the gallbladder creating the bile that we need to break everything down. So if it's already partially liquid, as we have in Ayurveda, it's much easier to digest. Now, seasonally, we have little creatures that live inside us, and they're so helpful. These are the creatures that say, okay, I know that it's this time of year. It's the end of the summer. This is an apple. This apple is acidic. I need to break down this part and this part and this part to feed the body this way. Okay? Because the apples are not really a fruit that are available at the other times of the year. The apple tree, the apple gets sweeter and sweeter throughout the summer. It's ready at the end. So our little creatures know that the foods change throughout the year, or they used to before we had supermarkets. We lived seasonally. But we still have this flora and fauna. They don't know about supermarkets. Mm-hmm. So you can eat a strawberry in the middle of winter, but it doesn't mean you can digest the strawberry in the middle of winter. It will make the body work harder to get it through. Yeah. Therefore, we try and live by, if you have to live from a supermarket, think of food mountains. When the potatoes are really stacked really high, that's because it's harvest. They're all ready now. Okay, so this is a good time to buy potatoes. When they start to get a little lower down and there's not so many, well, maybe it's time to stop eating the potatoes. But a better example is the color of foods. So think about the times of the year. Spring is fresh green. Everything is a bit fresh green, this kind of really peculiarly bright green. Yeah. And this is fantastic then, because these are new fresh shoots we should be eating. This is asparagus. This is the first broccolis, the first tips of everything. And also your purples. So the purple food are the antioxidants. This is where your berries start to come, is the spring. This is when they start growing. So spring is purple and green. And this is the time of year to cleanse because of how your digestional capacity is when you're eating throughout the year. In the summer, we have lots of food that are red. We have cherries, we have tomatoes, because God is already cooking the food for us. So from the spring to the summer, the creatures change. And the spring creatures, once they're finished, they go and sleep. And then the summer ones wake up and say, hey, okay, where is all the orange and red food? We like them, your apricots, your peaches, all these foods. Great. Watermelon. In the summer, you don't have full digestional capacity. Your body is constantly sweating to stay cool. So this is why the food that we tend to eat in the summer is already cooked. God cooked it. It's fruit that we like in the summer. Yeah, because it's refreshing. It's full of liquid. Yeah. And we don't really have to. We don't have to make ourselves hot in the kitchen to digest this food. In the autumn, we start to get a little bit of what we call the beige foods. If you know what I mean by that, the potatoes come and the parsnips and the cauliflower. And yeah, we have some of these throughout the summer, but mostly they start growing now. Pumpkins start to be ripe. Squash, the ones that are hard to peel and you have to deal with the outside to get to the inside. So then again, the flora and fauna is different. And now your ability to digest is growing. It's increasing. Yeah. By winter, you can eat what you want. Yeah, because there's no food growing. If nothing is growing, then you can only have what was left from the rest of the year. And so only now can you digest everything. That chocolate cake, the steak, everything that takes a lot of time for the body to go through. In the winter, it's easier. And then we come back to spring, where we have to clean because we just ate everything that was not so good for the body in the winter. And this is how your body works digestionally. You don't finish digesting until there is waste coming out of your rear end. The last possible moment, the body takes the vitamin B. So please, ladies and gentlemen, when you are eating, remember your little creatures, but more importantly, remember you. Go from the whole process, from bottom to top, and be present with your food because it's really important for you, especially if you have a trauma and you're trying to recover.
And I love, if I could just add on to it, that was just so beautiful the way you said that. And the vitamin Bs are so important for us. You know, all of us in yachting have, without being too general, but, you know, as most of you know, I've got a geeky habit of looking at people's blood under the microscope. You know, being a lab rat put me through uni, and I've always had a fascination of pathology, and I see it. You know, I can look at someone's blood and say you were just in Antigua or in Thailand or Galapagos because of what you see in their blood. And the problem with bodies is because we have been exposed to so many travel bugs and, you know, illnesses and worms and things along the way, which is completely natural when you travel as much of us. We have trouble digesting the B vitamins. So, you know, your B vitamins are so important. I'd love you to add on to this, but for circulation, mental health and wellness, you know, having, you know, good vibes, keeping off mosquitoes, you know, circulation, happiness, healing, traumas, anxiety. Like, it's the B vitamins for me. Every time I've, you know, done checks, that's always been the one I've suffered in because of the travel bugs I've been exposed to. You know? So to really do what Misha's saying, to even just allow you, if you can't do it for you, do it for the B vitamins. Do it for the Bs.
This is the thing. And so really to understand what's going on here is the colon really catches the B vitamins at the last possible second. So literally as things are leaving, it's starting to take them. Now, let's think about what the body does. So this goes into the bloodstream to help to regulate, as you say, all these things. If you're not taking in your vitamin Bs, the blood can't work to the full effect. It's the same way as if you don't breathe properly and get the oxygen really going through the body. If the blood is not working, how can you heal your trauma? Because the whole point of the blood, if you have an injury, is to go and give it this extra stuff. So the food is powering the body to heal, but the blood actually really carries and delivers everything that you say, okay, here's some oxygen, yeah, here's some more vitamin B, yeah, here, what do you need? You need some more of this? That's the whole point of the blood, to go around. And you wouldn't run a car without oil.
Yeah.
There's no engine that you would let do any work without it being fully lubricated. If the lubricant doesn't work, you don't use the same lubricant, do you? No, you regenerate or you go and get new lubricant. So your blood has to be treated as the lifeline here with a trauma. And it's for this reason that we eat the khichdi, which cleans the intestinal walls, which allows all the nutrition to go through, which means the vitamin B is going directly in, which means the trauma can heal to its full capacity and in a good time. Because the other thing I notice about the yachting community is all like, yeah, what time is it? What time is it? Okay, but you have to heal. We can't put a time frame on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the more you fight it, the longer it's going to take.
That's it.
I think that's something we all learn with age, isn't it?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. When you're younger, it's easier.
Yeah. Well, this has been the most amazing conversation. Thank you so much. How do people find you? We'll obviously put your information, and can you just actually tell us all about how you work? You've got all this knowledge, so what do you actually do? How do people, you know, get to know you better? And yeah, tell us more.
Sure. Okay, so at the moment, I can offer the full range of services. So I can come and give consultations, so I can actually check you individually, confirm your doshas, and then give you any advices that you might need for lifestyle, for nutrition, or even a combination of everything to make sure that you are balanced mind, body, and soul. I also do nutrition courses, which can include cooking, or I can be just online if you're at a distance from me. I love to work with lifestyle because this is where I feel people really need, especially the people who say, I eat the best diet, it's so healthy, but they don't have any comfort. Then I always wonder, okay, well, what is going on? If there's no balance, there must be something else. If the food is correct, what else is happening? My passion is in educating. I love to teach. I love to share the knowledge. I love to inspire. So I run workshops and talks. At the moment, they're mostly based in Palma. But again, if you're a distance, we can do a Zoom meeting. I'm very happy to travel on the island. I'm backwards and forwards to the UK, so anything is possible. Next year, I start working on the retreats because I like that people try before they buy. So instead of, I'm going to go cycling, I'll buy the most expensive bike, and then I'll get the shoes and I'll buy the bottle and everything. Actually try Ayurveda, come and live the lifestyle. Then let's do the consultation and see what can you take away that you're going to use. So we always set you up to succeed. Okay. And I can do everything in between. So whatever is possible, Ayurveda. I also do the massages, and I am available. I don't really have a set working days, but I don't work in the evening. And when you meet me, you will understand why that is. Living Ayurvedically, we live with the sun, so the evenings for me are a bit crazy. And people can find me the best way is by phone. I love a WhatsApp.
You can go to people's boats as well, so you can obviously go and meet, go on the boats.
Yes, very happy. I know most of the ports on the island because I've been living here since 2002. Yeah. So if people want me and they say which marina they're in, I will go and find them very happily. And yeah, my number is all on my Facebook page. It's on the website, but it's very quickly, if anybody is listening and wants to grab a pen, it is 680-288-075. And just drop me a message. And I love a WhatsApp. I always aim to get back to you within 24 hours, but I always will get back to you. So if it's not in the instant.
That's a +34 for Spain before those.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that is Spanish. Beg your pardon. Yes.
And just before we wrap it up, because I know there's another show on in a minute, but you mentioned massage, and to me, Ayurvedic massage sounds divine and amazing. But is it just a normal massage, or is it something special? How would you quickly explain an Ayurvedic massage compared to a massage you get down the road, like a sports massage or something?
So first of all, I have to make it particular to me, because when I trained in a group of people, and out of everyone there, my teacher said to me, you can only do maximum 2 massages a day and no more than 4 in a week. And this is because I give a great deal of energy when I do the massage, or rather, I don't do anything, but the energy that comes through me is incredibly strong. And also with the Ayurvedic massage, we are not working just with your body, but we work with the subtle channel. The subtle channels are the parts of the body where God exists, or basically your space, or your black matter, as my husband likes to call it. It's where the sinew and the bone and everything joins up. And to really restore your balance, this is what I'm working with. I also will work with an oil particular to you, with a mantra particular for your personality, and with an incense specific to you. But everything is tailored to the individual. You need to plan about 2 hours for your day. My battery's about to go, Manda, so I'm really sorry. Try and plug it in. But if I go, then the massage is not a massage. It's much more of a therapy.
Amazing. All right, well, let's just say goodbye, and thank you so much.
You too, darling. Thank you so much.
We could have our own radio show and talk for a year or more. You're awesome. Everyone, check out Misha. She's amazing. And
nice to meet you guys.
We'll speak soon.
Ciao.
Thanks, everyone. You're with Manda on Yachting International Radio.